Top of the morning, ladies. My name is Chaz, and welcome to the What If Zuko Was Flaming Cannonball? Or I like to shorten it down to Cannonball. So, yeah. He has reason why I said flames. Because those things that you see on him are green flames. So, yeah. He's way hotter than even the sun. So, and I always do this. I always add Zoomy to it. So, and let's say Inko and Asashi were both scientists working underneath a crazy man that some random dude to doing some research of how the creatures were. So Inko went in to experiment on the cannonball species, but she ends up getting infected with it. But she doesn't feel any side effects to it. So yeah, and then Asashi was working with Pyro, like the basically flame brains, or basically like heatblast. That's what. So yeah. So they end up got married and had 2 children. One was this normal girl, named Zumi, but her brother he was born as that. So they decide to give him a name of Zuko. So they don't know. So they were like, okay, how will we do this? As Asashi says, how about we get rid of him so that we'll just keep Zumi? Because, not trying to be mean, please understand that if they take him away, they might tell us, or they might arrest us for stealing him. As Inko, who took a breather in and out, and she understands. So they abandoned him. So when he was age of 4, he was a small, roly-poly kind. But he learned how to turn into a ball and, go around the entire city. Plus, he's immune to heat and, so he's basically, so now he's been doing this for a long time. So he does meet a pro hero, the forget her name. The Sharky-san's grandma. He met her before she passed away. And yeah, she took him in and raised him. And in this what if, she's still alive. You know? Of course, he does care, or she does care about him, no matter if he was a creature. So he does talk. He says, or they trained him to say, "Hello, my name is Cannonball." That's what he's basically saying. And sorry if I didn't get that hand. I made this yesterday or last night. So then now Zuko, sorry if I'm talking loud. I'm literally deaf in one ear. So yeah. So now here. I'm gonna go grab her. Sorry about that. I had to go grab her real quick. So yeah. So he came in and she took care of him all the way to full health. But one day she ends up, of course, she was raising him like what she did with Shiraki-san. Shiraki-san and him got raised in two different spectrums, but they respect each other's. They always care about each other's. He literally, or Shiraki-san literally calls him brother from time to time. So, yeah. And, yeah, they basically tried to do, or they do play, a game called, tag. But let's go over to 15-year-old. So, he's in the 15, and he climbs up the stairs to go to UA. And he heard about All for One and recruited his brother, or his brother or adopted brother, because his adopted brother told him that if he became a pro hero and the villain, or it's like that, we will fight each other's. Okay? As he blows out, if we have to fight, I'll make sure that I won't try to kill you, okay? So, that's what, of course, that's what she always tells them, make sure you don't kill each other's, okay? as that were her last words were. So yeah, he goes into UA. And he climbs up and he says, huh. But instead of like him talking normally, he talks in such a low pitch. Like, let's roll out. Kind. That even some people are like, huh, you're more motivated. So, yeah, Zuko is skin because he has that like cannonball's skin. He could survive anything that got thrown at him. So yeah, as as she a couple times he tries to save her by smacking him by smacking all for one around um like as Zuko was pretty mad. Like he's basically madder than anyone. So yeah, next next so now that he got into or he did like that written part and he did it in like way faster than anyone was even started. Some of them are accusing him of cheating, as only people that see him not cheat was like Momo, no, and so yeah. Then the one robot quiz thing. So he says, huh, let's roll out. As he turns into a ball. As some of them are like literally scared of if he. As he literally rolls like. He rolls over the 1-pointers, 2-pointers, 3-pointers like they were nothing. And yeah. And his speed, he is so fast that even that's in his ball form. So they're like, holy crud, this kid's quirk is amazing. Is it his mutation or something? As he comes back up, as he sees Ochako was gonna get smushed by. So yeah, the before arrow pointer, the some of the debris hits her leg. So he comes up, he grabs the debris, threw it over his head like a little rock, and grabs Oraka, and there was no time for him to dodge it. So, oh, so Zuko literally wrapped himself into the ball with Ochako inside, as they thought they were dead. But when Robot lifts up, they see a ball. Oh, and he let go. Oh, like like that. As Ochako, oh, and the rest of them are like surprised about it, as they couldn't believe that someone actually has a pretty good like quirk that could easily be smashed. But that one is like, man. So yeah, he got into Class 1A because he scored the highest. Even plus, Nezu actually told All Might that he's in Class 1A. He's also the only person that really knew your master was. As All Might is like, okay, what do you mean? That girl that has float ability that gave you your one for all? Remember that her? Yeah. Wait. So you're saying he already met her, and yeah, he tried to protect her. As yeah. So yeah. Then first day going to UA, they think of him as the outsider, so he's always gets a looks at about like of being scared thing. Like they were like trying to intimidate him, but that makes him sad. So yeah, I'm skipping the ball throw, and like except for Zuko when he threw the ball, he threw it like a little catapult, but it landed in infinity. So yeah, then Zuko was like, okay, and they gave him such a look, Hunks, that even like he's now getting used to their facial expressions, as he doesn't feel like he's part of the group. So he ends up like walking, or like he went back to like a changing room, and he ends up being the first one done, walks away, and some of those students says, as I think it was Redhead or him, says, well, good riddance to him. It won't be surprised if he just disappears. As some of them agrees to that, but Zuko is like, and a special public announcement thing, don't talk behind their backs, that's rude. So, yeah. So then, Zuko was, or the dorm, or actually, when Zuko threw the ball, he did like that. And 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 then he so yeah. So they're like got packed up and like left, and he got onto a side of a road. As yeah, Nezu, who told or asked Zuko, or actually dorms were built before, so they asked Zuko if he wants to be in the dorm instead of living on the street. So he says sure. As he lives in the dorms, like he puts his stuff down. He puts up pictures of a person that he cares about. She actually does care about him so much that even he was, or she's not the only one that cares about him. Shiraki-san was even. So yeah. So he starts like because he felt left out. No one asks him about like if they want or if he wanted to go to USJ. Except for Mr. Aizawa that told him that, but he needs to roll to there. So he used his rolling ability, like he rolled all the way to USJ, and he just sat there for absolutely long time. Like he was so long. He looked over and like, Plus he bought a phone before that can handle anything. So yeah, so he looks at his photos and it was such a good times that he says to himself quietly as yeah, everybody or they got onto a bus and they got like the rest of them got on the bus and they just went to there. And when they got to there, they see 13 talking to Zuko, who, and then or 13 explained to Zuko before about that, and then the villains came out of nowhere, ambushed the entire lake. So yeah. So he ends up like they all evacuate, but Zuko saw his teacher getting pummeled by a Nomu. So he says, I'll be right back. As he turns into a ball and starts rolling really, really fast. Right at like that Nomu. Hits Nomu in the chest with such force, sending him flying backwards. And he transforms as he says, stay away from my favorite teacher. teacher. If you really want me mad, I'll give it to you. As he looks over and sees Shiraki-san. As Shiraki-san says, "Hey, brother. Long time no see." Well, as some of them are like, why? Oh, I know why. As he literally pummeled like a Nomu straight into the ground. And like he used his claws, pierced the Nomu's brain, ripping it out like done. So then he grabs Mr. Aizawa and rolls all the way back upstairs. And yeah. So yeah, he basically rolls home and he drops off Mr. Aizawa as he like slams his fist into the ground, not near Mr. Aizawa, because he walked away before, and then he slams his fist in the ground, like he says, "Huh." As the policemen show up before, as Zuko is ticked off because his favorite person that betrayed him, that calls him brother, actually was the villain. So yeah, he starts getting like more heated up, as some of them are like, they still give him a weird looks, but he ends up like going back in and smashing every villain because how ticked off he was. As Shiraki-san steps in and says, "Calm down, brother. We came here to kill All Might and the rest of your class except for you. Okay? So calm down, breathe in, breathe out." As he's mad. As he tells his adopted brother that he's just mad, and that you worked with that guy that killed our... Yeah. So, yeah. So, they were like... he knows that is... Because Shiraki-san has that feelings, like, I know that you are mad, but please understand. And that it's only he told me, not you. He told me to become a villain. But I wish you could just see what the society done. As his body, or Zuko's body, he got out of there before, because Shrek knows that Zuko's getting mad, like literally. So he ends up like walking away. Of course, only person that heard their conversation was, of course, not not Momo. Ochako heard his conversation of the brother. So she bugs him about, like, what was that, Zuko? Or what was that? And cannonball. As he says, he called you brother. As Zuko says, I'm the adopted brother. He's the to him. But we were just toddlers. Toddlers that I got took in by that float girl. The one that, as he actually says her name, as Oraka's like, couldn't believe that he got adopted by a hero, pro hero. And then when they got back, so I'm skipping the sports festival. I'm skipping the race part, or actually, scratch that. The race part, he literally jumped in his ball form. He literally jumped over the entire stadium, ran all the way through the thing before Todoroki even, way before Todoroki activated his trap. So Zuko was fired up. He literally ran full speed, not slowing down, full speed, past the obstacles like they were nothing. As everybody's in shocked. He does it in 0.1 seconds. That's faster than anyone. Yeah, he's way faster than every student put together. So yeah. Now, in these cavalry battle, it was so uneven. Zuko had to be the only one on his own team. So he literally turned into a ball and he literally knocked out the competition with his 10 million points. And then he literally like one against the like in the also in the fight one. So yeah, I'm skipping that part now. So the internships, Endeavor just decided to walk in to when and told Zuko that he'll be joining his internship because of his flames and the way that he does things. So yeah, he basically went full on throttle, never holding back, full throttle, and he was like, dang, Zuko, to slow down. As, yeah, he basically ran over 3 Nomus, the same ones as him, ran them over and killed them, and they all he was already done when Endeavor, or before Endeavor got to there. So yeah, as he goes and he literally ran over Hero Killer Stain. Like, he jumped over Tenya's body and Native and ran right into, yeah. Plus his skin was so hard. So Hero Killer Stain tried to stab him, but it ends up failing. So he ends up getting captured like a Pokeball, ran all the way to the police station, and his hero name is Cannonball. Flaming Cannon. That's what it is. So Endeavor's agency got boosted up in popularity. So he ends up going all the way around, and he does. But one day, after he left his internship thing, he saw was a fireball that was the size of was gonna hit the town. So Zuko decides to say, hey, I'm gonna do it no matter what. So he literally ran up he transformed into his ball form. He literally ran up the steps. He literally ran and hits the fireball. Let me remind you, this fireball isn't just like a small fireball or meteor. It was a big one. So Zuko, who hits it, but it doesn't budge. But he doesn't. So they're all panicking, so someone call pro heroes. As it's end of the world. As Zuko uses his flames, like you see before you. He literally went supernova, ultimate and flames. As his flames turn colors, like a rainbow. Ends up hitting the meteor and pushing it all the way back into orbit. As people are like, holy crap, that does not make any logical sense. But then when Zuko, in his ball form, says, "Let's rock and roll. Let's push this meteor back into orbit." As he literally did. As he got... as he was sleeping on the same meteor thing, and he was trying to stay awake, so he fell asleep. They thought he was dead. So time goes on. Now I'm skipping the camp part. Now the All Might versus All for One. So All Might was down but not out. So yeah. So All for One says, any last words? As All Might's words were, let's roll them out. As in the All for One looks up at and sees this big green flaming meteor went full throttle and hits him. And he caused a massive earthquake, like a whatever those things are called. So he ends up because he actually, when he was sleeping in space, his body got changed into more humanoid. So he ends up, when he came out of his that, he transforms into that. As Zuko, who was basically the most powerfulest entity in the world. As some of them are scared out of their minds. They couldn't believe that some random kid just fell out of the sky, literally, hits the villain, and looks more buffed and sexiest one. Because some of the girls were if there were any fireworks going off, those girls would be a fireworks. So yeah. That's what happens. Happens when people don't do it. They were literally surprised about Zuko shows up out of nowhere with a new form. His body, he looks when he came out, he looked like that. And he says, hey, All Might, what's up? As he still says it in a, deep voice, hello, All Might, how have you been? As All Might is that saying, remember that saying that you always do? Let's roll out one? Yep, that's my signature saying. Let's roll out. As they see him, they couldn't believe that he's still alive. after all this time. So, yeah. As when he came back, as he looks behind him, like looks down, the crater that he created, he sees All For One's corpse, is like skeleton just remaining. Like, as he looks at All Might, then back to him, like, sheesh. My literal impact and does some serious damage. As All Might looks over and he looks at him, yeah, but you need to work on your landing. Huh. Yeah. But hey, Lisa got some moon rocks. It's in my backpack. As he had backpacks in his, like, pocket things that zips up thing. So, yeah. Zuko, who, when he got back to home, or, like, to school, every girl that was in there walks up to him and asks him to go on a date with them. Because, let me remind you, before this thing started, he was in his, like, that form. But when he, and everybody's like, okay, that's disgusting. You're chubby, and I'm talking about this to be, and then when he took a meteor back to orbit and came back to Earth, he looks all, like, buffed up, like that. He still has his roly-poly thing. So he can still use his old self. But he can do one thing. Like, his hands catch on fire. And, like, it was rainbow color. So he literally used target practice on him. As the flames were way hotter than Todoroki's. So yeah, Zuko is that person. So, yeah, now Inko and Sashi walked, or like, showed up to there to bring Zuko back to. So, yeah. As Shiraki-sen is told Zuko that he's jealous that he didn't get a 12-pack thing or 100-pack. That's what Zuko had. He was so buffed up that even, like, he was so muscular that even, like, most of the guys even respect him as sheesh. So, yeah. As Inko walks up to him and tells him that he needs to, do you want to become Midori here? That would be like your last name. As he says, sure. As Zuko, who says sure. As Inko tells Zuko that why they did it is because of the Looney Tune guy, their boss, told them to research that little facility thing. So he says, huh, okay, where is he now? As they see a businessman came, and he says, you both should still be working. You don't get time off. And as that makes Zuko really mad. Like he literally walks up to him and he says, are you trying to separate me from my family? As that's what he is saying. Like, the businessman in his face is totally calm, but inside, he's freaking out because this creature is telling him that don't separate my family. So he ends up, even as he says, I see why no one works with you, because you always force them to go into slavery. That's not okay with me. As he literally grabs him and because he was really strong, he literally grabs the guy's arms, both arms, and pulls him to parts, rips his arms off, and reaches in. He brutally murdered the guy. He kills the guy, and he basically did that. Now, time goes on, he does save Ares in this what if, but he doesn't look scary. He looks cuddly. So, Ares, instead of crying, she actually went up and hugged him, and so everybody, or actually Ochako, who actually asked him out on a date. So they've been dating, and they got married and had 2 kids. Because, and he tells them that, is anyone gonna put me in prison? As some of them, that was before, as they're like, no, you do you. And thank goodness, no one likes that guy. Anyways, so they're good. As Bakugo is like, heck yeah. As they both brofist each other's. They even respect each other's. And they did all that stuff. So, okay. So then, after all that, now this is the end of the video. Please leave a like, share, subscribe. And, who would I do next? Will I do what if Zuko was Diamond Head, or here? Would I do Diamond Head, Ripjaws, Ghostfreak, heatblast? Definitely I already did Wild Mutt. Do you want me to do Gray Matter or Forearms? Or Sting Bug or the Tree Guy? I already did the Cannonball, so, or Wolf, or like any character from like Ben10, like Way Big, or in my version. So, yeah, leave them in the comments below. Oh, please, or like, I almost forgot about upgrade. So, any Ben10 characters, leave them in the comments below, and see you guys in the next video.